I was driving down this dusty road when I saw something that made my heart stop. This tiny brown thing, barely the size of my hand, was sitting right in the middle of the highway. Cars and trucks were flying past him at full speed, and he had absolutely no idea how much danger he was in. I pulled over immediately. My hands were shaking. I had seen rescue situations before, but something about this one felt different. This little guy was completely alone. No collar, no chip, nothing. Just a scared, skinny puppy trying to survive on a busy road surrounded by rice fields. And the way he was sitting there, completely still, like he had already given up on everything. If you've ever felt that moment, that split second where your whole chest tightens and you just know you have to do something, then you already understand what I was feeling. And honestly, if stories like this one hit you the way they hit me, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss what happens next. Because what this little guy did over the next few days, I still can't believe it. But here's the thing, getting close to him was going to be the hardest part. The moment I stepped out of the car, he looked at me with these wide, terrified eyes. And I knew if I made one wrong move, he would run, either straight into traffic or deep into that rice field where no one would ever find him again. I had seconds to figure out what to do, and those seconds felt like an entire lifetime. I spoke to a local family nearby. They knew the dog. They had seen him wandering along this stretch of road for weeks, but not a single person had been able to touch him, not once. Every time someone got close, he would bolt. So there I was, standing on the side of this busy road, knowing this tiny creature's life literally depended on what I did next. Julie and I came up with a plan. We weren't going to chase him. We weren't going to corner him with force. Instead, we started slow, really slow. We brought food and placed it near him. Not close to us, but near him. We kept our voices soft, our movements calm, and we waited. Every minute that passed, I kept thinking, what if he runs? What if we lose him forever? The energy you bring to a situation like this matters more than anything. Animals feel everything. They feel your fear. They feel your urgency. They feel your desperation. And if you're not careful, all of that transfers straight to them. So we took deep breaths, we sat down, we let him come to us on his own time, and sitting there on that dusty ground, watching this tiny puppy from a distance, I realized this wasn't just about saving him, this was about earning his trust. And then it happened. After what felt like forever, he took one tiny step toward the food, then another. His little nose twitched, his tail gave the smallest flicker. And in that moment, I thought, this is exactly why I do this. This is the moment that makes everything worth it. If watching this gives you even a fraction of what I felt, you already know where to find more stories just like this. But catching him was a completely different story. There comes a moment in every rescue where you have to act fast. And when that moment came, it was sudden. It was scary for both of us. But we got him. We finally got him. He was trembling. His whole body was shaking so hard I could feel it through my hands. His eyes darted everywhere. Every sound made him flinch. This dog had been surviving on his own for so long that he didn't even know what it felt like to be safe. He didn't know what it felt like to be wanted. We named him Willis. That first night, Willis wouldn't come inside. He stood right at the doorway and just stared at us, like he was testing whether this was real, whether we were going to disappear on him too. That broke my heart more than anything, because you could see it in his eyes. He wanted to trust us. He just didn't know how. We didn't force him.
We left the door open and we waited. By the next morning, everything changed. I woke up and Willis was already inside, curled up right near the door like he had been there all night, just watching. And when I looked at him, really looked at him, I couldn't believe it was the same dog. Something had shifted overnight, something quiet, something huge. The fear was still there, but underneath it, I could see something else starting to show. Curiosity, hope, a tiny spark of something that looked a lot like trust. We took him out to a big open field. The kids came along too. Willis was on a leash at first. We couldn't risk him running. But as the days went on, as he started to understand that no one here was going to hurt him, I made a decision. I let him off the leash. And the moment those paws hit that grass without any restriction, the joy that came out of that dog was something I will never forget. He went from this terrified, broken little creature on the side of a highway to this bouncing, jumping, completely alive puppy, running in circles, chasing the other dogs, tail going a mile a minute. It was like watching a completely different animal, and in a way, it was.
Why would someone throw you away? That's the question I kept asking myself, because whoever left Willis on that road had no idea what they were giving up. They had no idea that this little brown puppy, the one they abandoned, was capable of so much love. Angie and her husband took Willis home, and I mean really home. The kind of home where he is loved every single day, where he has a family, where he has a yard to run in and kids who adore him. Everything this little guy had ever needed, he finally found it. And watching him settle into that life, watching him finally relax, finally feel safe, that was the moment I knew everything we went through was worth it. And Willis, he never stopped jumping for joy, not once. So here's what I want you to think about. If you saw a scared little puppy sitting alone in the middle of a busy road, would you actually stop? Would you risk it for a dog you had never met? Or would you keep driving and tell yourself someone else would handle it? Think about that, because for Willis, someone did stop, and that one decision changed everything.